The solid principles are a way of designing software that is easy to understand, maintain, and extend. Here is a simple explanation of each principle. Single responsibility. A class should have only one job or responsibility. For example, a class that handles database operations should not also handle user interface logic. Open-closed. A class should be open for extension, but closed for modification. This means that we can add new features or behaviors to a class without changing its existing code. For example, we can use inheritance or interfaces to create subclasses or implementors that extend the functionality of a class. Liskov Substitution. A subclass or implementer should be able to replace its parent class or interface without breaking the program. This means that the subclass or implementer should follow the contract or specification of the parent class or interface. For example, if a parent class has a method that returns a boolean value, the subclass should not change the return type to a string value. Interface segregation. A class should not depend on methods or properties that it does not use. This means that we should split large or complex interfaces into smaller and more specific ones, so that the classes that implement them only need to implement the methods or properties that are relevant to them. For example, a class that needs to read data from a file should not depend on an interface that also has methods for writing data to a file. Dependency inversion. A class should depend on abstractions, not concretions. This means that we should use interfaces or abstract classes to define the dependencies of a class, rather than using concrete classes directly. This way, we can reduce the coupling or dependency between classes and make them more flexible and testable. For example, a class that needs to send an email should depend on an interface that defines the methods for sending an email, rather than depending on a specific email service class.